My name is Paul O'Hanlon. I've been engaged in the bus rapid transit planning process for years. I looked through my files on my hard drive the other night and saw that the first one was dated in 2014. I can tell you that BRT was not always a Port Authority plan. There were long stretches of time where Port Authority staff would direct me to the city saying that this really wasn't their initiative. Years ago, when Ellen McLean, the former CEO, spoke to a group of riders who universally were rejecting the idea of a forced transfer in Oakland, she said that Port Authority was not going to agree to that because it would, quote unquote, risk breaking the system, unquote. It seems to me that the only sensible thing to consider at this point is the BRT with the current route structure and without the transfer. I could emphasize the hardships on people with disabilities are forcing a transfer in rough weather. But the truth is that you've already received communication from the City County Task Force on Disabilities and the Committee for Accessible Transportation, both of whom had serious objections to the BRT and recommended against it. The reality is that for every rider forced to transfer, the BRT represents a loss of time, not a time savings. Mark Twain talked about lies, damn lies, and statistics. So let's agree to chalk it up to statistics that the official story is that transfers will take only 5 minutes. If I'm leaving downtown to go into the East End and I need to catch the 61A, B, or C, do I take the BRT that gets me to Oakland just on time, knowing that it's once every 40 minutes this ride could be? Do I take the bus 5 minutes before that, knowing that there's only 2 wheelchair slots on a bus? So if that once every 40-minute bus has 2 people ahead of me who use wheelchairs, I'm waiting another 40 minutes. So do I take the one 15 minutes before the bus is scheduled? There's no way a transfer takes 5 minutes. I have a challenge to you, board members. Pretend the BRT already exists. Pretend tomorrow it's in place. Take a bus from downtown, transfer to in Oakland, and see how long it takes you. I guarantee you it will take you longer than 5 minutes. And if you haven't done this, taken this very simple test before you commit millions of dollars and risk breaking the system, then I really have a serious question on whether you're exercising due diligence required of your position. In closing, I predict this decision will go down in history along with other notoriously bad ideas like turning East Liberty into a pedestrian mall. The decision will haunt you because it will be so unpopular and it's foreseeable. No amount of spin shortens a ride that you made longer by forcing a transfer. For the sake of the system and your reputation, I would urge you to consider whether the BRT doesn't actually become a better idea once you take the transfers out and keep the current route structure. Thank you.